guys, let's look at number 7. All right, the figure is rotated 180 clockwise to create the new figure. Which rule represents this transformation? All right, so I think the most important thing we need to do is to use our transparencies. Now, I don't have a transparency, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to turn my own paper 180. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pick a coordinate out. I'm going to pick coordinate D. And I know that's at 1, 3. Now remember, this is 0, 0. Now I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. Now I'm going to turn it 180 degrees. And that is where D prime is. Let's go ahead and mark where D prime is. D prime has to be over 1, so left 1. Since I'm going left, I'm going -1. And since I'm going down 3, that's comma -3. All right, guys, I'm going to turn my paper back over so that I can choose my answer. Now let's go ahead and compare our coordinates. D was 1, 3. It turns into D prime, which is -1, -3. I see the X and the Y are really in the same place, but what's different is that they're both opposite. These used to be both positive, now they're both negative. So I'm going to find the rule which keeps them in the same order. Okay, rule C, it doesn't keep them in the same order. I'm going to cross that right away. A and B do not turn both of these into opposites. It only chooses one of them to be the opposite, so I'm going to cancel those out too. The only rule that's remaining is this, and that is my answer. You notice how X and Y are in this exact same place. These are in the exact same order. The only thing different is that these are now opposites. Okay. Now we're at the last question. Okay. Now, before I started going over this test, I went ahead and I graphed RSTU on my paper. That's going to help you answer this much quicker is if you have the original RSTU on the graph. Which student creates a new image that preserves congruency and orientation? So I'm going to use a different color instead of black. I'm going to use orange for Randolph. Randolph's new coordinates are given here, so let me start graphing those, and we're going to see which new image does this. I'm not going to take a guess, I'm actually going to graph it. So here's my R prime, -6, -4. That is right here, students. -8, 4. So -8, then up 4. So that's R prime, and then this is S prime. So guys, I think I can stop right there. I see that RS and R prime and S prime, they are not the same size. So I know that they're not going to preserve congruency. I can cross Randolph right away. And since I'm crossing Randolph, I'm going to cross out both. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a different color for Maddie. Maddie is 0, -6, so over 0, down 6. -1, -2, so over 1 to the left, down 2. T prime is 4, -2, so I'm going to go over 4 and then down 2. U prime is over 5, down -6. All right, so students, I really think that Maddie, her transformation is exactly the same size. Now let's go ahead and see if it preserves the orientation. Let's go ahead and put the R prime back where it's supposed to be. Put the S prime where it's supposed to be. T prime and U prime. So now you see why it's so important to label these coordinates as I go. So they're all in this exact same place according to the old shape. So they do preserve orientation as well. So both of these are preserved. So Maddie did a good job, which means I can cross off neither. Maddie is the correct answer. All right, now here's the issue that you guys might be most concerned with, your grade. All right, they were 8 questions. So each question is 12.5 points. So you take how many you got correct and you multiply by 12.5, and that is your grade. All right, thanks for following along.